greatest day in history. Death has beaten, you have rescued me. Sing it out, Jesus is alive. The empty cross, the empty grave, life eternal, you have won the day. Shout it out, Jesus is alive. He's alive. I am yours, Jesus, you are mine. Endless joy and perfect peace, earthly pain finally will cease. Celebrate, Jesus is alive. He's alive. Happy day, you wash my sin away. Oh, happy day, happy day, I'll never be the same. Oh, happy day, when you wash my sin away. Oh, happy day, I'll never be the same. Forever I am changed.
Hey everyone, it's me, Diggin' Dottie, and I'm an archaeologist. I just love to dig. Raise your hand if you love to dig too. Oh good, because I'm gonna need your help today. See, I use the stuff I dig up to help me solve mysteries. Will you help me? Oh good. Now when I say, can you dig it? I want you to say, we can dig it. Let's try it. Can you dig it?
We can dig it.
Perfect. Now check out some more of my digging stuff. Always have your whistle when you're near water. And you can't forget to bring an extra shovel. But the most important tool is my Bible field guide. My Bible field guide gives me clues on how to solve the mystery. And our mystery today is what happened to Jesus after he died. I'm hoping you and I can dig something up so we can solve that mystery. Let's get started. My Bible field guide says we need to dig something up in the shape of a rectangle. No? Oh, silly me. That's no rectangle. We need to dig up something in the shape of a fish.
Yeah!
But where am I supposed to find something in the shape of a fish? We're gonna need my Bible field guide. It'll give us some more clues of how to find that shape. We'll find the red X and get to digging. You ready?
Yeah!
Let's check our next clue. This says I need to do 2 star jumps. Will you count them with me? Here we go. 1, 2. Oh, I'm in the water. Well, let's check our final clue. This says I need to make my way through the tires and I'll find our X. Here we go. I spot it! It's a red X. Can you dig it?
We can dig it.
Perfect. Let's get to digging. Will you help me count these scoops of water? 1, 2, 3. I spot something. Wow. Check out this old fish bone. This just might be the clue to solve our mystery of what happened to Jesus after he died. Let's see. Shape, clue, show me what you can do.
Hi friends, my name's Peter, and I'm one of Jesus' friends. I saw Jesus when he came back to life. He was at the lake. It's a great story. Let me tell you. A few weeks after Jesus had died on a cross, my friends and I were on a boat fishing. Raise your hand if you think it's fun to go fishing. You're right, it is. But we weren't having any fun. We had fished and fished. We had thrown our nets out and fished all through the night and hadn't caught a single fish. We were also missing our friend Jesus. Since he died, we didn't get to spend any more time with him. No Jesus and no fish. But just as the sun was coming up, we saw a man standing on the shore. He shouted, "Have you caught any fish?" We shook our heads and sadly said, "No, not one." Then the man shouted again, "Throw your net on the other side of the boat and you'll get some fish." So we did what the man said, and we threw our net to the other side of the boat. Can you pretend to throw your net too? Ready? Grab your net with both hands and hold it high. And now, throw it out into the water. Good job. when we grabbed our net and tried to pull it into the boat, suddenly we felt an enormous tug on the net. We pulled on it and pulled on it, but it was too heavy because it was so full of fish. And that's when my friend John realized that the man on the shore wasn't just any man. It was Jesus. I was so excited that I jumped out of the boat and I swam to shore to see him. Me and Jesus sat down on the shore and ate breakfast together. And guess what we had? Fish. It was amazing. I saw Jesus. Jesus came back to life.
Wow, that's incredible! This fish showed us how Jesus helped his friends catch a ton of fish. And then Peter had breakfast with Jesus on the beach. And do you know what that means? That solves our mystery of what happened to Jesus after he died. Jesus came back to life. That's incredible. Let's all say that together. Everybody stand up. Now do what I do. Jesus came back to life. Great job. One more time. Jesus came back to life. Awesome. Can you dig it?
We can dig it.
Perfect. Thanks for digging. I'll see you guys next time.
Bonjour, enchanté. I am chef des soufflés. I will broil, I will roast, I will bake or flambe. My dishes are delicious, I perfect them every day. But now without my sous chef, oh, there she is. Hey!
Oui, I am a sous chef, je m'appelle Mint. How are we le best you ask, I'll give you a hint. When we cook with passion, recipe obedient, because we have a special ingredient.
Because we have a special ingredient. Oh, welcome to Special Ingredient. I am Chef des Soufflés.
And I am sous chef Mint.
And today, we have a delectable dish for you. We are preparing le crème cake de rouge. Now, let me show you how to prepare this special dish.
Mix flour, baking soda, and cocoa. In another bowl, beat the eggs and sugar. In another separate bowl, mix oil, vinegar, food coloring, and vanilla. Beat them together. Oh, it is beautiful. Add a little bit of the flour mixture and beat.
And the special ingredient today is le buttermilk. Le buttermilk. It adds the most perfect creaminess to the dish. Like when you are strolling through the garden, and you see a beautiful flower, you pick it up and eat it. It's so delicious.
Chef.
It's savory and sweet at the same time. I love it.
That is lovely. Might we get back to the cooking?
Alternate flour mixture and buttermilk. Pour into cake pans. Bake it. Frost with creamy frosting, and voila! La crème cake de rouge.
It is the most perfect cake. Taste the cake.
Très magnifique, chef. It is so perfectly creamy. Without the buttermilk, this cake would not be the same.
Oui, you are right, Lement. And that is because the perfect special ingredient is the peur de lèvres, le buttermilk, on fait les sous le bras, le quoi. Oh, oui.
I am so sorry, chef. Your very authentic French accent was too thick for me to understand. What did you just say?
I said, le special ingredient is a pour le quoi, la basile. Oh, l'offre. Buttermilk dans le basal. Non, le magnifique. Oui.
Repeat, s'il vous plaît.
I said, the right perfect special ingredient.
Okay. Stop. It's fine. Okay, so I love this accent. The accent is so fun, but I genuinely cannot understand you. Can you just for a minute, can we just stop?
Oh.
What were you saying?
Okay.
Thanks.
Cool. So, I was just saying that the right special ingredient makes it possible.
You were so right. That buttermilk made it perfect. That special ingredient was the best.
And Lement, remember, we have a special ingredient in our lives too.
We have buttermilk.
Better. And it isn't something we eat or have to work really hard to get. It's a gift someone gave us, remember?
I do. It is God's love. And with God's love, our special ingredient, our lives are far better. And we can do things that otherwise would feel impossible.
Like breathe underwater with the fish.
Maybe, probably not, but you never know. No, I'm talking about things that feel impossible, like with God's love, we can love others.
Exactly. With God's love, we can love people who are mean, or love people who did something really bad, or love people who other people say not to love.
Yeah, it's like pretty simple, but not always easy. Will you remind me again how God's love makes all that possible?
Yeah, since God loved us first, we can now go and love others. Let me show you. Okay, remember, God loves us so much that he sent Jesus to earth. One day, Jesus
was on his way to Jerusalem, and he saw a group of people standing together. They maybe looked a little scared and dirty because they had something really wrong with them. They were lepers. They were called lepers because they had a nasty disease called leprosy. Leprosy left huge, disgusting, painful sores all over your body. It would eat away at you, and it couldn't be cured back then. Leprosy was awful, and because people didn't want to spread it, they kicked lepers out of their homes and communities. They weren't allowed to be with their families or their friends anymore. In fact, lepers had to shout out that they were lepers. If they ever saw anyone near them, they would have to shout out, "Unclean! Unclean! I'm unclean!" See, back then, people sometimes thought that if you had leprosy, it's because you had sinned, or maybe you had done something wrong and God was punishing you. But that wasn't true. Even so, lepers were really sad. And not only were they in terrible physical pain, but their hearts hurt too. The only way they were able to go back and be with their friends and family was to get over their leprosy. And they had to prove that they were over their leprosy to the religious leaders. But since there was no way for the leprosy to be cured, lepers would just live in a lot of pain. They were out by themselves and they were really lonely. So one day, the lepers saw Jesus coming. They knew that they might have a shot at getting better. Technically, when they saw Jesus come near, they should have yelled, "Unclean! We're unclean!" But they didn't. See, they knew who Jesus was. They had heard of him performing miracles, and they knew that Jesus had great power. So when they saw him, they probably were thinking, this is our only hope to see our friends and family again. So they yelled out at Jesus, "Jesus, have mercy on us, please." They continued to call out until all of a sudden, Jesus stopped. And he stopped them with his voice, saying, "Go, show yourselves to the religious leaders." The lepers were confused. They looked at their bodies and tried to see if their leprosy was gone. They knew that they had to prove that they were fully healed of their leprosy before they were allowed to join their communities again. And they were still covered with all these nasty sores. But something about Jesus made them obey. So they set off to prove to the religious leaders that they were over their leprosy. And as they walked, they started to realize that their skin was healing. And they looked at their arms and their legs, and they saw the nasty sores go away. It was incredible. Soon enough, all of them were completely healed. They began to run toward the religious leaders. They wanted to show the religious leaders that they were all cured. Jesus kept walking toward the city. He didn't need to see what was going to happen because he already knew. The lepers would show the religious leaders their skin, and they would get the A-OK to move back in with their friends and their families. And that's exactly what they did. All they wanted was for their bodies to be healed. And they didn't really care much about knowing Jesus. All except one. One of the lepers came back and fell at the knees of Jesus, and he said, "Thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you," he cried. This man was different than the others because he came back to say thank you to Jesus for loving him no matter what.
Whoa. With God's love, like our special ingredient, we are able to love everyone, even when it's hard or honestly kind of gross in this situation. Because God loved us first, we get to love too, even when it's really hard.
And not only did Jesus show us how to love people, we also know why we love. We love because God first loved us.
Exactly. Like what it says here in the Bible. Yeah. We love because God first loved us. That's in 1 John 4:19. Will you say that with us?
We love because God first loved us.
1 John 4:19.
God's love is our special ingredient.
And with that special ingredient, we can love.
I am Chef de Soufflé.
And I am sous chef La Mint, and we will see you next time on
Special ingredient.